hello, good morning. Can you hear me? If you guys could let me know in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear, that would be great. I could probably check from my end, but would not be so efficient. Good morning, hey Carl, Taylor, good morning. Hello. Can you hear me okay? Hello, hello, good morning, good morning. Great, thanks Carl, I appreciate it. So what's up everybody, John the Morgal here, checking in for a quick stream. Gonna go over some NASA news and thank you Christopher, appreciate it bud. And some debunking heliocentric dogma, just as it says in the description. So hello everybody, good morning. Oh, I'm sorry, hey Wanda, good morning, sorry you have to go to work. I tried to get it early enough, but hey, sorry. Okay, so just jumping right on into it. The first thing I'm going to go over is something I noticed just perusing NASA news the other day. Russia's space program just threw a NASA astronaut under the bus. Okay, so the little subtitle here: the Americans refused to perform a polygraph examination. So this has to do with that little hole. If you guys remember, there was the hole in the, I guess it was the Soyuz or one of those live mobiles up there. But I'll just read from this article a minute. So Russia's state-owned news service, TASS, has published an extraordinarily defamatory article about NASA astronaut Serena Anand-Chancellor. The publication claims that Anand-Chancellor had an emotional breakdown in space, then damaged a Russian spacecraft in order to return early. This, of course, is a complete fabrication. Well, at least I agree with one thing in this article, that the whole thing is a fabrication, but hey, different context, I guess. The context for this for the article is the recent near-disastrous docking of the Russian Nauka science module with the International Space Station. The TSS article attempts to rebut criticism in U.S. publications that covered the incident and raised questions about the future of the Roscosmos-NASA partnership in space, or I should say fake space, but hey. One of a dozen rebuttals in the TASS article concerns a 2018 incident, a 2-millimeter breach in the orbital module of the Soyuz MS-09 vehicle docked with the International Space Station. You guys remember that? Yeah, a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago, back in 2018, when there was the hole in the ISS, right? So it says, left unchecked, the small hole would have depressurized the station in about 2 weeks. That just seems so odd. I mean, I always sort of thought that these flies in here drive somebody crazy. I always thought that, if there was even a tiny pinprick hole in the ISS, that the whole thing would be depressurized pretty quickly. I mean, we are talking about the vacuum of space out there, but hey, what do we know? It says it would take about 2 weeks for it to depressurize the whole space station, right? It says, fortunately, cosmonauts were able to patch the hole with epoxy. And the Soyuz spacecraft was deemed safe to fly its crew of 3 back to the Earth. Well, isn't that just swell? I mean, to me, that just seems so ridiculous, man, but just continue reading the article here. Attention quickly turned to what had caused the hole to appear. A micrometeoroid strike was ruled out. Some Russian media reported that it had been caused by a manufacturing or a testing defect, and this seems to be the most plausible theory. At the same time, however, sources in the Russian government started baseless rumors that perhaps a disgruntled NASA astronaut had drilled the hole. Oh my god, that's crazy. I mean, they're not even up there, but the drama that they come up with in order to keep people's attention, or, to keep people interested in it is just, it's crazy. So it says, to obtain more data, 2 Russian cosmonauts went on a dramatic spacewalk in December of 2018, and they used knives to cut through the exterior insulation on the Soyuz vehicle. Sure they did. They sampled the site where the hole had been and took high-definition images and GoPro video of the exterior of the leak site to help Russian investigators determine what had caused the hole. Prokopiev, Gerst, and Anand Chancellor then returned safely to Earth in the Soyuz at the end of December, back in 2018. If the Russians ever completed their investigation of the hole's cause, they never released it publicly. In the report published Thursday, however, TASS reopened the case. The format of the story is such that journalist Mikhail Kotov interviews the anonymous high-ranking official in the Russian space industry. Based upon the comments made by this person, the source is probably the head of the Russian space corporation Roscosmos, Dmitry Rogozin. Gotta love those Russian names, don't you? So here's a quote from that guy there. In order to establish what had really happened in the hole in the Soyuz incident, there were several spacewalks by Russian cosmonauts back in December of 2018. They went to the orbital module of the ship, the Soyuz, which had been damaged and performed necessary tests. Bear in mind that this sort of damage could not have occurred on Earth because the ship is tested in a vacuum chamber before the launch. If there had been any hole, the pressure in the ship would have fallen rapidly, and it would not have passed the vacuum test. I mean, you would think that the pressure would have fallen rapidly in the so-called vacuum of space too, but no, I mean, they were fine. There's just a hole in the damn spacecraft, and it's fine for weeks, right? Which to me is ridiculous, but let's continue with the quote. Thus, Roscosmos excluded the scenario that the Soyuz MS-09 was damaged on Earth. Concerning the possibility of the hole having been caused while in orbit, it is necessary to take into account several circumstances, says my anonymous source. Firstly, the illness of the female astronaut, which is the first known incident of deep vein thrombosis in orbit, and the fact that Serena Maria Anand Chancellor had suffered the condition was published in a scientific article only after she had returned to the Earth. This could have provoked an acute psychological crisis, which could have led to attempts by various means to speed up her return to the Earth, according to my anonymous source. Secondly, for some reason unknown to Roscosmos, the video camera at the junction of the Russian and American segments was not working at the time. Thirdly, the Americans refused to perform a polygraph examination while the Russian cosmonauts were polygraphed. Fourthly, Russia never had an opportunity to study the tools and the drill which are aboard the ISS, or the LISS, to see if there are any signs of metal shavings from the hole of our ship's orbital module. Finally, and fifthly, of 8 holes, only one went all the way through the hull. The others were skips of the drill, which suggests drilling in weightless conditions without needed support. One hole was drilled in the framework, a transverse rib of the ship's hull. That is, whoever drilled it was not trained in the construction of the Soyuz. Okay, so end quote there. Wow, I mean, can you guys believe this? So, literally, the Russians are accusing the Americans of drilling that hole so that they could get back to Earth sooner, right? But, I mean, you would think if they were actually up there, the last thing you'd want to do is start drilling holes in the damn hull of the thing, right? I mean, if you're actually up there in space orbiting, do you really want to test that theory that it's going to take 2 weeks for it to depressurize the damn thing? No, I don't think so. But whatever. Continue on with the article. There are a number of troubling aspects about this article, particularly as it relates to Dr. Anand Chancellor, who was the only female on board the station at the time. Firstly, it publicly reveals her previously undisclosed health condition on orbit, which was successfully treated upon her return to the Earth. Then the TASS article says such a condition could have caused a psychological crisis that induced her to want to return to Earth early. The Russian theory here is that apparently by damaging the Soyuz vehicle, Anand Chancellor would impel Russian and NASA authorities to allow her to fly back to the Earth immediately. Wow, that is just absolutely crazy, you guys. I mean, really, I don't know what to say other than how ridiculous is that? I mean, do y'all remember that when it was in the news? Well, hopefully we're still streaming. I guess we are. Looks like we may be. Let's see. Maybe nothing. Hmm. Well, don't you just love that? Ay, 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 ay. An NPC astronauts action. Right, exactly. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep on plugging through this. I don't even know if y'all can hear me or what. Hopefully, I am still live. I do not know. Um, but I just wanted to really quickly look at the Fenestralius Pic Gaspard. It's the world record landscape, long distance landscape photography. I was showing this to a friend, and basically it's 443 kilometers distance to that peak in the background there, which, according to the ball Earth theory, it should be well below the horizon line. And, you know, the fact that we can see these peaks 450 kilometers away debunks the ball Earth theory, right? I mean, it proves that we're not on a globe. We are on a plane. And yet, the rebuttals that we get to these sorts of images, these sorts of proofs, is just never ending. And, wow. In the chat, can y'all hear me? Oh, crap. Am I still live? I guess, yeah, maybe. Okay, good. Looks like, yes, that's a positive. So, but so there's other ones too, 388 kilometers. I'm not going to try to convert that to miles in my head, but it's up there over 200 miles. And, I don't know what to say other than these pieces of evidence are compelling. And this isn't about belief. It's not about what we believe or our theories. This is about simple geometry, right? So either the Earth is a ball or it's a plane. And when you see a piece of evidence like this, long distance landscape photography from hundreds of miles away, it just flies in the face of the ball Earth theory. Here's another one from Pedro Miguel Maspons, sun setting right behind Peñagolosa Peak in Castellon province, Spain, seen from the Tramonta Mountains, Mallorca Island. That's from 276 kilometers, so over 100 miles away. Wow, beautiful picture. Um, And of course, the way that these guys get these shots, it's pretty amazing. They have to wait for the conditions to be just right because, on a normal day with normal conditions, you can't see that far. That's true. It's very difficult for these guys to get these sort of like 200-kilometer distant shots. They have to wait for the right temperature conditions, the right atmospheric conditions in order to get these shots. So pretty impressive, 200 kilometers there. Again, and what's so funny is, like, even in these articles describing these pictures, they refer to the Earth as like a ball or a planet. I mean, you would think that these guys would have done the trigonometry to realize that such shots are simply not possible on a ball Earth. But it appears that that sort of thing is lost on them. 123-kilometer distance shot here, so definitely over 60 miles. 132 kilometers. Sorry, you guys. Let's see here. 225 kilometers here. So how many miles is that? And again, this site here is beyondrange.wordpress.com, beyondhorizons.com. Just some real beautiful pictures proving the Earth to be a plane. I mean, what more could you possibly want? 278 kilometers. I think this one here actually beats out the... oh, no, it does not. I'm sorry. The Picta Fenestralius, the one that I've used so many times in videos, where is it? Just a beautiful picture. So this one here, I wish I could make it bigger. It won't let me. 443 kilometers, this one here. So it's like 275 miles. I've done the math on that one before. Just amazing. So yeah, so there you have that. Just some beautiful long-distance landscape photography proving the Earth to be a plane and not a sphere, as we were all led to believe as toddlers. So, wow, just in your face, right? And of course, the globetards have rebuttals all day long against this sort of thing. It's refraction, it's this, it's that. I don't know, man. It just seems to me that the ball Earth deviously and dubiously presenting itself to us as a plane doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It makes more sense to me that the Earth is actually a plane as it appears, and we were tricked as little kids. And something that's very interesting to me as well, it's the flat earthers out there that are championing the curvature formula, the 8 inches per mile squared that we're all so familiar with. You didn't learn that in school. I certainly never did. There's not ball earthers that are going and sharing that with their friends and letting it be known how to, calculate the expected curvature and then going and measuring for it. But when you can visually see objects, mountain ranges, hundreds of miles away that should be obscured by the horizon line, that's pretty darn compelling evidence as far as I'm concerned, right? Right. Okay, and the other thing that I wanted to go over is something that I've harped on quite a bit, but I think it's something that's worth definitely reviewing from time to time because it is just such a compelling piece of evidence against the ball Earth is the impossible moon, right? So humoring the sort of heliocentric layout. Let's see where we're at here. Yeah, humoring the heliocentric layout. So we've got this sort of alignment between on the ecliptic plane. So we're looking at sort of a profile view of the ecliptic plane here, or the same sort of thing works at an overhead, like top-down view of the ecliptic plane, humoring the heliocentric sort of ball Earth model. We have problems with where the moon is, where we can visibly see it sometimes when it should not be visible to us. So, forgive me if you're familiar with this already, but so according to the ball Earth theory, the phases of the moon are determined by its position relative to the Earth and the Sun. So, like if you're, again, a top-down view of the ecliptic plane here, this here would be a no-moon phase. If it was right over here, say, you'd have like a crescent moon, and when it's way over here, you'd have a full moon. So the position of the moon is determines the phase, right, according to the whole ball Earth theory. And yet, sometimes, for example, we will see a full moon in broad daylight, which that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, like, looking at this diagram here, the full moon condition, the moon would have to be 180 degrees opposite the sun, right? And a lot of times we'll be on the daytime side of the Earth, so standing somewhere over here, and we'll see the full moon in broad daylight. To me, I've seen the crescent moon in the middle of the night, which again, the crescent moon should be over here somewhere. And if you're on the night side of the Earth, how is it possible that you're seeing the crescent moon in the middle of the night? It doesn't make sense. The ball Earth theory just falls apart under this sort of scrutiny. And it really, if you actually give this topic a fair shake, globetards, and you're honest with yourself, you can only come to one conclusion, and that conclusion is that the Earth is not a spinning ball. So, yeah, there you have that. Let me check in on the chat. What's up, guys? I keep getting this stream warning. It's kind of, hello, Sarah. Hey, Carl, Taylor. We keep coming back with amnesia. We are flesh prison suits as punishment. Wow, that's rather Gnostic there. Yeah, and, honestly, you guys, I don't even know if I'm still streaming. I mean, it looks like I may be, but I am not 100% certain. I'm not getting anything from YouTube here. Wow. So I guess, you know what, guys, since I have to run but I was hoping to get more feedback from YouTube. I don't even know if I'm streaming right now, so I'm going to go ahead and end this. I'll probably do a video with some of this content, but thank you guys for popping in. Love y'all. Just wanted to check in, do a quick live stream for you, and we will see you in the next one. All right, take it easy, you guys.
Big day the next day.